Thank you, everybody. I'm Sue Dvorsky. I'm the chairwoman of the Iowa Democratic Party. We appreciate you coming out this morning, talking about the impact of the President's Jobs Act on education. Education is the cornerstone for a brighter future in this country, and every child in every state deserves to learn in state-of-the-art classrooms with well-prepared teachers. Kids deserve personal attention to help them learn and grow. President Obama supports these principles and wants to make sure the government and the budget reflects those values. As he said, each kid only gets one shot at their education. Unfortunately, many Republicans are not listening to the American people on this issue. In Congress, Republicans in the House of Representatives have caved to Tea Party members to support drastic budget cuts that slash spending for K-12 education. And all of the leading Republican candidates for president have supported those plans. Republicans believe we should protect tax breaks for corporations and special interests while we cut funding for our kids' education. Republicans would rather continue loopholes for special interest friends than fund computers in today's classrooms. Cutting education funding to protect tax loopholes for the wealthiest Americans does not reflect our values in Iowa, nor does it reflect our values in the United States. I know Republicans in Washington have grown more partisan and ideological, but surely they can work with President Obama on an issue as important as this. It's time to put country ahead of politics. It's time to put our children ahead of our political parties. Congress needs to pass the American Jobs Act now so we can stop 280,000 teachers nationwide from being laid off. Congress needs to pass the American Jobs Act now so we can get to work rebuilding and modernizing 35,000 public schools across this country. In Iowa, this means protecting up to 4,000 educator and first responder jobs and investing over $132 million in school infrastructure, creating as many as 1,700 new jobs here in Iowa. Congress needs to pass the American Jobs Act now because it will not only get more Americans back to work, it'll help lay the foundation for future economic prosperity and future job growth. I'd like to turn this over to Melissa Spencer, the president of the Des Moines Education Association. She knows what's going on right here in schools in Des Moines. Melissa?
Thank you, Sue. First of all, I'd like to say that investing in public education is more valuable than tax cuts. Dollar for dollar, investing in public education has a greater net positive impact on economic growth than any other type of investment, including tax cuts. Everyone's income grows when you invest in public education because education raises everyone up. Just to tell you a little bit about the situation here in Des Moines, since 2002, the Des Moines Public Schools have had to cut $73.6 million from their budget due to the decline in the economy. Since 2007, this has resulted in a 6% decline in our teaching force. What's the result? Higher class sizes and less individual attention for students. In Des Moines, where 70% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch, which is an indicator of poverty, and we have 5,000 ELL students, which is 15% of our population, our kindergarten class sizes have grown to 28, and our high school class sizes in some cases have exceeded 40. If you check out East High School, their photojournalism classes have an average size of 45 students, when they only have 9 cameras per classroom and 17 computers. So that's definitely going to result in less individual attention for those students. We know that society relies on public schools to educate all of our students, whether they come from poverty, don't speak English as their first language, or qualify for special education services. This requires resources, and students who have more needs require more resources. In Des Moines, we have seen an influx of over 800 refugee families from areas such as Burma, and so these children are entering our school with no formal education, having lived most of their lives in refugee camps. Education is a civil rights issue, and it helps our children break free from the cycle of poverty and puts them on a path to a prosperous future. The American Jobs Act will help put more teachers back in our classrooms, lowering our class sizes so we're meeting the needs of all of our students. It's also going to help our continued efforts to modernize our infrastructure. I've taught chemistry and physics at North High School in Des Moines for the past 9 years, and if you check out my chemistry laboratory, you will definitely see that it's not an example of a modern lab. We did get some money from the 1 cent sales tax to finally redo our tables, which are actually reacting with the chemicals. So now, though, we still don't have gas that works, so we can't power our Bunsen burners, and our water pipes rattle every time you turn them on. So we could definitely use the money to modernize our labs. In conclusion, America's students shouldn't bear the brunt of our country's economic crisis. They are our future, and if we want our country to continue on the path and to continue to grow, our students need a good education now and not later. It's time for Congress to pass the American Jobs Act to help our teachers keep our teachers in our classrooms and ensure America's best days still lie ahead. And now I'd like to introduce State Senator Cornbach to follow up.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here to support the President's proposal strongly. As an educator, I know the importance of having kids get a good start in the public schools, both with high-quality teachers and with first-rate facilities. As an economics professor, I also know the importance of creating and maintaining the jobs that we have in the state. The President's proposal addresses both of these key areas with strong measures. As far as the jobs concerned in the public sector, with the teachers and firefighters and police, those are all functions that everybody, no matter what their ideology, everybody agrees that we need to do in the public sector. The President's proposal would provide Iowa with $287 million to help preserve and maintain 4,100 jobs in that area. In addition, in terms of school facilities, the President's proposal would allocate for Iowa about $133 million, and to do the work would help to create about 1,700 construction jobs. Now, if you know anything about the construction industry, you know that we've had a lot of layoffs. It's been awfully slow, especially in the housing sector. So if we can put people to work modernizing schools, those are people on the one hand who need the work. On the other hand, we need the schools that need the work done. I don't see how you can't agree to putting those two things together. Now, would you also add in the President's proposal of $386 million for infrastructure investment, and that would equate to about another 5,000 jobs here in Iowa. That's a total of almost 11,000 jobs. The governor has proposed to create 200,000 new jobs, but so far hasn't produced hardly any. I would hope that the governor could get behind this proposal. It would get this 11,000 jobs created towards his 200,000 goal. The governor has also proposed this morning some education reform proposals that are going to have significant costs. Now, the governor avoided the question of how to pay for those costs today, but again, I would hope that he would get behind the President's proposal, because certainly the money that the federal government is proposing here would help achieve our goals of education reform. Thank you all for coming out today.